Okay. It's been a couple days. I've been super busy this week. Mostly working on Oxidized Global. So if you let me pull this up actually. If you haven't that's not what I wanted. I wanted you to be over here and I wanted you to be over here cuz I need to mess with my Firefox settings cuz I'm streaming. But yeah, I hope everyone's had a good week. I've been super busy with Oxidized Global stuff, which I will show you in a minute. But luckily, Talus has been super busy um, on ESB stuff, which I haven't been. So I'm super excited because today I just get to play with stuff. Well, actually, probably oxidizedconf.com. So if you haven't seen this, you should definitely check out Oxidized Global. We're running an online event in July. It's going to be super cool. We're gonna have some talks. The idea is that everyone around the world can join because it's kind of spread out over the whole day. And by whole day, I mean it starts at 5 a.m. Berlin time and goes until 8 o'clock Berlin time. So it's like 19 hours or something like that. And the idea is that we have a couple blocks that everyone can make, no matter where in the world you are. And we'll be kind of staggering the talks throughout the day. We're also having some trainings and stuff like that. So if you're into training, we're gonna announce some stuff on Monday, but there's gonna be some cool stuff. We're gonna announce that on Monday. So yeah, keep an eye on that. We're selling tickets for the conference already. If you buy a workshop ticket, which should be on sale next week, you also get access to the conference. So hoping everyone can make it. Oxidize. If you haven't seen Oxidized 1K. That was the other remote event that we ran where we had like 12 lightning talks, and yeah, that was a blast. And we have the whole video up here. So if you're looking for 4 hours of embedded Rust content to watch, it's all in one video, and there's a lot of really cool talks in there. I was super pumped about that, and I'm even more excited about Oxidized Global. So come check it out. Yeah, that's my plug for now for all a couple people who are hanging out watching the video. But yeah, today I'm hoping to play with. So Talis got the ESB stuff working and put up some example repos. So I'm going to be looking over those and learning about them because I haven't even had time to follow along with what he's been doing this whole week. So I'm going to kind of catch up with how it's gone. And then I've got a couple NRF 52 boards here. I've got some Decawave ones. I also have the 52832 dev kit that I can play around with. We'll see what's up with that. Hopefully some combination of this boards. If I get if I get one board sending and one board receiving by the end of this stream, I'm going to be pumped. But what I'm probably going to end up have to do first is set up my own demo project that uses the Decawave boards. But yeah, if you're hanging out in the chat, say hey. If you're hanging out on the Matrix stream, come say hey. Yeah, but I'm going to get started. So let's first look at the ESB and let's see office hours ESB and let's make this bigger. And let's go ahead and do document private items and open because I want docs for this. Oh no. Okay, so I have docs. So let's break this off and bring this up to the window. 6. So he's got ESP IRQ. I want to see what he ended up building for this, because so radio interrupt, start receiving, clear flag, send packet, prepare receiver. Okay. Grant packet, start TX, Message ready and read packet. Okay, cool. So nothing changed there. And then let's go and look at the PTX, and he's got some ProbeRS stuff in here, which for the demo, put your actual config in config.rs. Start out as a copy of this config example rs file. I think there's some ProbeRS things which I don't have. So if any of the ProbeRS folks are hanging out in chat, you should ping me because I don't actually know what I'm doing here. And we're actually going to go over here. Let's move this. Do some organization of windows. Default equals 52832 because Rust Analyzer. Apply config. Interesting. Does that have pins that the serial port is on? Yes. So the other thing that I'm probably gonna need to pull down. Oh hey Lumpio. Yeah, there's this thing. There's this embed.toml, and I don't actually know what it is, and I've never installed RTT. Do I just need to? What do I like? Should I just go to ProbeRS and follow the install instructions? Because it seems like we're using this, or can I get away with not using RTT, and will it not crash the? Well, I guess he's using serial here, which is good. I just want to see if there's like RTT stuff in here. Should probably go look in here. Are you using? No. Excuse me. Init print. Lumpia, do you know if it's going to crash my device if I have RTT in there and I don't have RTT set up? Also, does RTT... I guess RTT is going to work with a J-Link. Let's see. Let's just try and get this building, and let's figure out... the other thing I need to pull up is the DW1001 crate. So let's pull that up. Why are you giving me a bunch of stuff that is about Rust the game? Braun Robotics. Got to pull this up. Go look up Rust. Oh, it's the DW1000. That's why. So let's clone this. This hasn't been updated recently, which means it's probably not going to work with the new DWM stuff. What version of NRF HAL do you use? You use 081, so you are not going to work. So let's instead just clone this and look at what the pins are, because I don't think we do anything fancy here. DWM 1001 source lib URTX pin 0, 5, and 11. Okay, so let's copy actually ESB demos cp-r./nrf ptx dot slash DWM 1001 ptx. Okay, nano cargo dot toml. DWM 1001 PTX. And actually, I want opt level 3 because he said there's some timing things. Well, let's not mess with it for now. I'll probably want to come back to this, but we've got enough space on our 832. Lumpio saying RTT won't crash in the default mode even if nothing is attached, i.e. flashes the firmware and then starts up debug logging or whatever is configured. And yes, JLink is supported for both flashing with ProbeRS, but I haven't touched those parts, so things are probably still beta. Okay, that's good to know. Because I admittedly have not messed with. I've been very excited about ProbeRS, but I haven't messed around with it yet. Mostly because I haven't had time. And I don't want to make this stream about me playing with ProbeRS, so maybe I'll play with it this weekend. It's a long weekend. Today's a holiday in Berlin, so today was a very relaxing day for me. So tomorrow, hopefully, I'll stream again, and maybe on Sunday too, but we'll see. Let's go look at ESB demos, and let's go start playing in our DWM 1001 and our config. TXD is 0005 or 005. TX 005 and RX is 11. So these are the pins on my dev board that are UARTs 115200s. Okay. Did we receive any packets? Serial.write_. So if we don't receive something, then we just timeout. Okay, that's still kind of fine. rprintln. Where does rprintln come from? RTT. Oh, that makes sense. It might just work if you say cargo install, cargo embed. Okay. Let's do that. Let's do live. Apologies if my machine dies. Although I have set up an SSC cache server, so hopefully my most of this is actually getting sent to my my build server in my house and not actually building on my laptop, which should hopefully help my stream. Okay. And then, well, I shouldn't have done it here. I should have done cd dwm ptx cargo build release. 2 packages. Well, that's what you get when you copy the whole thing. Failed to parse manifest. Caused by can't find bin. Oh, my computer load's getting too high. Hopefully I don't start dropping frames. Why is my load at 10? My computer's holding up amazingly. Ooh, that's... Okay, well, we're at 15. Good. Probably shouldn't be compiling two things at the same time. Still not dropping frames, though. All right, let's kill one of those. I'm afraid that we're going to start dropping frames here because my system's load is at very high. Oh, I am dropping frames now. Sorry for anyone watching who's seeing a degraded, poor experience right now. If you're in chat, let me know. Let me know if it gets better or if it doesn't get better. Stream status poor. Excuse me. Hey, Talis is here. Okay, so I have cargo in bed. Let's calm down and see if the stream comes back to healthy. My system load is going back to a healthy number now. And Talis is around, so I'll probably start bugging Talis. Let's just, so what was the just works? Cargo install, cargo embed, cargo embed. Okay, so if I just run, let's connect. I had to go find micro USB cables, and I found a bunch, and I think only one of them's a power only cable, so I will avoid that one. Actually, well, yeah, let's just stick with the ones that I know will work. Because if it's a power only cable, I want to throw it in the trash. Because finding USB cables that only do power is the worst for embedded development. Like once a week in the embedded chat room, we have people jump on that are like, "Why isn't my board showing up?" And it's like, try it with a different USB cable, and that's almost always the problem. Let's. So if I just type, or not in this one, cargo. Well, let's do a cargo build release over here. I think I have a totally stock firmware on this because, well, maybe. I don't know if I put that blinky light on there. I don't know whose blinky light this is. Could have been mine. I don't know. I am super excited for this radio to work, honestly. And Jorge just opened up a PR that got the USB working, which means at some point I'm going to switch from using the 52832, which is using this, to I want to switch to the 52840, which is in the NRF52 dongle. Oh no. Expected const argument in this macro declaration. Did I not set cargo build release features equals 52832? And I actually want to go hard code that because this board is always a 52832. Yeah, I need feature stylus is already calling out the problems that I have. Also, you need to check the .cargo config. Ooh, that is a good call. Because you're going to be HF. Oh, I'm going to do runner for me is going to be arm none yabi GDB OpenOCD, and I'm not using OpenOCD, I'm using JLink. So actually what I'm going to do is, what am I going to do? I'm going to cd string to tiny nrf 52 cat.cargo config. Let's just copy. Oh no, I want nano debug.gdb. Do I need arm demangle? I don't think I need any of this stuff because I don't need to turn on SGT. So let's just go with my tried and true cargo config, and I'm gonna hit save, and it's going to recompile everything because I changed cargo configs. Just try cargo embed first. Yeah, probably. Well, now I'm gonna get it built, and then I'm gonna try it. Hey to everyone watching the stream, give me a shout in the chat, or at least let me know like what you got going on. Should be able to flash without problems. Yeah, I wanted to see. I want to try cargo flash because I haven't had an excuse to, and this is an excuse to. Yeah, and then once I switch to the dongle, I'm not going to use it anymore because this doesn't. Well, I guess it does have SWD pins, but they're like on the neck of that. So these little pins on the side. I don't know if this is actually focusing or not. No, are you gonna focus? What happens if I block everything out? Like on the neck of the USB, the little gold pins. Yeah, there you go. Those are the SWD pins. So one of these I need to sacrifice and solder headers to. And it's not going to be very usable, but it'll be useful if I have to hook an external debugger up to it. So yeah, let's try this. Cargo, let's go look at the embed toml and see protocol SWD, that works. Flashing enabled, halt afterwards, restore 52832, that's correct. Log level warn, enabled, channel, all disabled, GDB, false. Okay. What happens if I type cargo embed? It's going to rebuild everything again. So we're waiting patiently. I need features? No, I said default. I don't need features. I said the 52832 failed to flash. The execution of erase sector failed. Well, now my board is sitting without found chip XXAA and XXAB. Consider specifying its full name. Well, I mean, what is the DWM? DWM cargo toml. You set the, what flag do you set? Wow, you have a lot of options. XXAA. XXAA, which is the bigger one. And let's go look at my embed toml, and let's change this to that. Execution of a race sector failed with code 1. Or embed release. Okay. Well, anyone have ideas? That one is in embed toml. Embed toml. Is there like release debug? But yeah, that shouldn't be the problem. Okay. It's saying erase sector failed with code 1. What happens if I run JLink server? Waiting for GDB connection. Okay, I was just seeing if it needed a firmware update or something like that. Is that thing locked? It shouldn't be locked. Or at least, like, JLink GDB server never has a problem with it. What is the JLink NRF unlock? Burp, burp, burp. What's the JLink server? It's not the GDB server. I want like JLink exe. Oh. Firmware available for the connected emulator. Sure. Cool. Now what happens if I do a cargo embed release? No, you still don't like it. JLink exe. Connect. That's a good answer. S is good. That's good. Unlock. No, I don't. No, I don't want any of those chips. Erase. Okay. So I erased everything. There we go. I have a terminal. I appear to have a terminal. Okay, I'm live. I had to do a manual erase, but that's good. Let's I don't know what I'm doing. Dev TTY ACM 0 115 200. Okay. Okay, so I got things. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put a carriage return in here. Where do you say didn't find ACK not received PTX? There you are. Where is this? Source main. Okay. Cool. Sending hello. RN. Let's see where else you have RN. because I use screen, and screen is terrible and requires you to carriage return. Okay. So then if I do a cargo embed release, see, now it will erase. That's interesting. Okay. Okay. This is good. Okay. And it's still moving. Okay. Yeah, Picocom would be good too, probably. Okay. Some line feed translation. Yeah. I don't know how to make screen do that. If anyone knows how to make screen do that, cool. Other question. How do I make cargo embed? How do I make it always use a specific vid PID? Because I want to plug in a second device now, and I want it to always use, like, I want one of them to always be tied to one of them. Does anyone know? Well, I should probably just cargo embed help manifest vid PID package target. I bet you there's an embed toml option that makes it use something, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cd this, and I'm going to cp-r nrf5 prx dwm 1001 prx, and we're going to go look in prx, and we're going to go steal some of the things from here. By the way, ProbeRS people, that was super slick. Other than like the flashing not working, and I don't know what was up with that, that was super slick. And I'm actually super pumped that that just worked, because that was super classy. So you are doing an awesome job, and I am super pumped. And if you haven't checked out, well, okay, you know what? I have probe.rs. You should all go check out ProbeRS, because this is super slick, and it's already better than a lot of tools, and in like no time at all, it is going to be just a no-brainer alternative to JLink server and OpenOCD. Like, it already is more pleasant in a lot of regards, even probably outside of Rust. But yeah, I've been watching the development of this and just haven't had time to play with it yet. But yeah, super huge high five to everyone who's working on that, because that's super. I'm so glad that a better tool is coming along. We're gonna cd dwm prx, and we're gonna rm OpenOCD, and we're gonna cp dwm ptx I guess I still called it OpenOCD debug.gdb, and we're gonna copy dwm ptx.cargo config and let's make sure I didn't just screw that up. OpenOCD. I guess I'm not using the runner anyway, but because I don't actually use OpenOCD, because it's not to disparage the people working on it, but it's never been the tool that I've been happy to use. Probe index. Third line, embed toml. Okay, so probe index. How do I know? Probe index, third line. How do I know which one is which index? Can I make it tell me what the index is? Seems, but I would guess it would be nice to have. Well, I'm just going to assume 1, 0, and the other ones. Let's make our PTX 0, because it was the one that was plugged in first, so it's probably going to be index 0, hopefully, if USB enumeration is that. But yeah, having a vidpid would be pretty awesome. So you're going to be 0. You're going to be 1. I'm going to assume that these are numbers that are reasonable numbers. Let's see if you still work. Not fixable. Workspace members, right. Don't know why that caused it to... Oh, I'm in the PRX folder. Haha. Let's actually go cd wm ptx cargo embed release. That's so good. Oh my goodness, that's so good. Okay, cool. So you're doing things and stuff. Let's go look at the PRX because I bet you I need to copy the config. That's probably the other thing that I need to do. Is PRX is gonna have a source config, which is gonna have the same config as my PTX because I'm gonna use two of the same boards. So let's put that in there. And you are so complaining. Default equals 52832. So now I'm in PRX. So let's... Okay, I want to make sure this doesn't work. UART. Right, because I bet you this has been tuned for the NRF51, because I think Thales was using an NRF51 for this. So let's go look at serial main 120 UART. Panic Impul. Why are you complaining? Probably because you think you're an NRF51, but you're not an NRF51. Pack UART 0 as UART. This is the line. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna b compare dot DWM PTX, and we're gonna go figure out. Oh, that's how weird to. Well, that's interesting. We're gonna go figure out what's different between these two. And it crashed. That's a choice that you have made. Oh, I guess it didn't crash. It just full screened it. Where'd you go? There you go. Embed TOML index 0, 1. Yep, we expect that. Source main.rs. PRX. Hello from PTX, atomic bool, delay flags, timer 1. Let's copy over. Yeah. Stop freaking out. Scrolling is not. Stop. Okay. Let payload packet release. Okay. I want this to fail because I want it to be like, hey, I couldn't. Probe not found. So now I need another USB cable. And I need another dev board. Luckily, I have a ton of these. We use these as the training board for Fair Systems and for our paid trainings as well as Oxidize. So I have just a couple of these kicking around on different interesting different iterations of hardware. Where can I'm gonna run you up here. Hopefully this is enough distance between the boards. I know some radio boards really don't like being next to each other when they're talking because they're just too close for the radio. Let's put you there and hope. Let's put you up here. I don't know if you can see this on camera. I'm kind of wiring it on opposite sides of my head, which is probably, an interesting choice. You can't really see it. One's like here, and one's here. This cable may not be long enough to pull it into frame. Oh, you can kind of see there you go. One's up here. I'm just kind of like hooking it around shelf bars. Okay, so now I have a second probe attached. Probe could not be created. Anyone have any thoughts on what probe could not be created means? Because because we've got a J-Link. Trying to read this. So, like, I assume that this is index 1. You know what I should do is I should open up J-Link XC again, and it'll probably complain cannot connect to J-Link. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to control C U, and we're going to pull U out, and now I've screwed up my terminal. And now if I do J-Link, what did I do? It did like... erase. It's interesting that it didn't want to update that one, but maybe I've used that one more recently. Let's see what ProbeRS thinks if I PRX embed.toml. Let's go back to 0. Well, let's connect it. Don't get any output, which is interesting. But hey, it connected. So now if I quit out of that and I unplug, I plug you back in. Plug you back to 1. Okay, so I have 1 connected, and then if I connect the other one, nope, probe cannot be created. What if I just comment this out? More than a single probe detected. So probe index equals 1. Bed probe index equals 1. Cool. So you don't like that. Oh, PRX, it needs to be 1. Permissions, PRX doesn't print anything. A comma the print because it didn't have serial. Okay, so what we can do, JLink GDB server. Oh my goodness, what? One? Question mark? Now you want to give me a firmware update. Okay, that is the right one. Select device unspecified is unknown to this version of JLink software. Okay. Nope, cancel. Okay, serial number is going to be, I should copy this. SN space 760128073. Don't steal my serial numbers. Okay. Okay. I don't know why it keeps putting it up here. Okay, so now we're connected. So now I need another one. CD office hours, ESB demos, DWM PRX, cargo run release. Connection timed out. Why are you still debug.gdb? Oh, this is not what I want at all. Did I copy the wrong one from the wrong one? Stream to tiny NRF. Debug.gdb. Cool. Screen dev tty acm 0115200. Cool. Oh, yes. Oh, I have radios talking to each other and they're blinking. Oh, I am so pumped. Oh, goodness. With RSSIs, I don't know what a good RSSI is. RSSI is a meaningless, unitless value that is different on every manufacturer, but we have radio. Awesome. So probe index. Don't know why erasing wouldn't work the first time. Issue better probe selection. R print line. I think probe index might be a lie. Probe cannot be created means the number of devices isn't exactly one. So apparently, ProbeRS does not like JLinks with multiple. So I doubt it's going to work with two. That's okay. We have regular GDB server for the second one. Awesome. I am super pumped about this. Okay, we're about an hour in, so I'm going to take a quick break because we just hit success. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first try. I mean, like, sort of first try. I didn't have to modify any real code. CD office hours, ESB demos, git checkout -b, DWM James, git add -i4. Let's yank in all these new files. And what did I touch? Let's touch that. And then check out. Okay. Is that everything? Working with two devices. Okay, cool. That worked. Thank you, Lumpio, and thank you, Talis, for helping me debug that and get Cargo Flash working. So I'm going to take like a 5-10 minute break. Stand up, stretch my legs, grab a drink, and I'll be back soon. I'm super excited. We get to play with fun stuff now.
sunlight. I don't know how to sing a pretty song. Like water off a duck's back, you seem to slip away. Well, natural selection be damned, I'll be okay. I used to think I'd wanna be a bird of paradise, but now I'm happy being just a quail. I used to think I'd wanna be a bird of paradise, but now I'm happy being just a quail. Bobbing to my own beat. I used to think I'd wanna be a bird of paradise, but now I'm happy being just a quail. I used to think I'd wanna be a bird of paradise, but now I'm happy being just a quail. In all the world, there's only one girl like you. There's no one else who does the things you do. Who dances in the light, full of color, though black and white. No other one like you. Oh, Bella. Oh, Bella. Oh, Bella. Oh, Bella. You know the path to take, I know you do. Piercing eyes of clearest crystal blue. A half moon for a face, not one spot out of place. A perfect sleepy muse. Oh, Bella. Oh, Bella. Oh, Bella. Oh, Bella. I can still see you all curled up in the sunbeam, poking around at all my keys and guitars. You've been cooped up inside this tiny little apartment, perking up at all the passing cars. Never warmed up to me or anybody. Jenny said she found you by the side of the road. When she was out of town, took care of you like my own. But now I'm moving out, and I gotta go. But I'm gonna miss you, I hope you know. Oh, Priscilla, you're a walking, living shadow. Two bad eyes, peeking from behind the blinds. Oh, Priscilla, scared of your own shadow. Oh, a better cat I'm never gonna find. Oh, guess this is goodbye. Oh, Priscilla. Oh, honey, what's on your mind? Oh, honey, what's on your mind? Is it leaving this for the open air and singing songs to ward off the bears? Well, if it is, I will follow you there. Oh, honey, what's on your mind? Oh, honey, I see the signs that you sigh past highway signs. The weight of the world, girl, you wanna fly by and by. I will follow you there.
Okay, so while I was gone, the PRX board panicked. So, and interestingly, it kept responding to messages even when it was panicked. So I'm guessing the interrupt handlers and shortcuts were still running, which is interesting. Once I unplugged the board, then it stopped responding, which is why I have no more responses over here. But it was still responding like 1 out of every 5 messages or something like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go look up Rust debug assert, because there's some debug asserts and Talis had some ideas. There is a cargo flag, cargo manifest format. There's an option where you can still turn debug asserts on even if you I thought there was a debug assert flag which will let me still get debug asserts. Just a debug assert. Unless C debug assertions is passed to the compiler. Does Cargo know this flag? If I go to ESB demos, I think I need to do it in Cargo Toml. So if I kill you, and let's start our... Oh, we're going to have to build again, aren't we? Because we changed cargo flags. But it seems to be happy with that. Oh, apparently, yeah, most of the panic handlers disable interrupts, but I forgot that. I wonder if panic persist does that. Maybe I'll switch to panic persist instead of doing this with the RTT. Just because then I'll have access to it on reboot. I also should probably print to the UART. We'll see. We'll build a debug environment here once Sin is done building. I probably should have only set the profile as an override for my main crate because I don't want everything to debug assert, but hey, maybe I do. Yeah, the other thing, once Talus, let me know what you think I should be working on. Well, I'm gonna go debug this first. But the other thing that I want to do is either start playing around with things like examples with Postcard, where I have like serialization of messages. The other thing that I want to do also is start setting up some benchmarks, in terms of like radio performance. To, eventually, I want to like walk outside with this with like a laptop, maybe 2 laptops, and like see what my speed is like with or without axe and stuff like that. So we'll see. So now I've got this going, and right, it's not plugged in. You're probably gonna... Why does it keep putting it up here? It's really actually obnoxious. Waiting for GDB connection. And hopefully Yateki has logged on, because Yateki was complaining that he apparently always misses the stream. Where do I need to be? I need to be here. And this is going to recompile everything? No? Oh, I guess it has a lot of common in there, so it's only going to build it once, because it's part of a workspace. So if I start running here... Yeah, the payload was probably empty. But yeah. Now is the fun part where I need to like let it go until it panics again. So apparently it was... Talus is saying it's probably because... Excuse me. The code is going to go... It was basically not finding a grant it was supposed to have. So the other thing that I should probably do... Well, you know, put my hand in front of here, and we see the RSSI go down a ton. Let's see, what do I have? I don't have like a big piece of metal. Well, I guess like the iPad's a big piece of metal. If I put a big iPad in front of it, it's not bad. If I angle it, maybe? No. 2.4 is wily enough that it gets around here. It's probably enough metal in this office that it's going to multipath like hell anyway. But yeah, now we need to like wait until... I should probably have a debugger on both of these, but PRX is the one that crashed, which is interesting. What we can do is we can ramp up the speed. Where's my PTX? PTX main.rs. Where's like the loop where it's... do we receive any packets? Hello. Where do you periodically send stuff? Do you have like a delay in here? Timer, delay flag. Okay. So where do you set up timer 1? Set up timer for delay. Bit mode 32. Oh, you're gonna... you know that the... Well, I guess you're using the timers for something else, but like we have drivers for this. 32. I don't want to mess with this. Tallis, can I mess with this? Can I make it count less? Timer init. Yeah. Uh I guess this is probably 1 second. What if I make this? I have so many terminals. Python 31 to 50 divided by, I guess it's like once a second. So if I want it to be, let's just make it go at 10 hertz. This is my PTX, so I've got to do this one. Probe could not be created. Right, it doesn't like it. Okay, cargo run. Yeah. Let's do 0. Failed to open listener port. Oh, what is P2335? Can I make you use a different port? It's probably going to want the full name. Slash port. Stop. You're the worst. 2335. Okay, so we need to change PTX debug toml to 235. So now if I do cargo run release, cool. So I really just, like, I don't really care about the console output, although it's kind of freaking out right now. I just want it to, like, go into a panic. I'm trying to hammer it with packets so that it goes into a panic. Oh, I'm not receiving anything anymore. So I wonder in my PRX if I hit stop. Yes, I'm in a panic. Excellent. Okay, stop. You're making me tweak. BT. Okay, so radio in PRX main 161. Okay, so it means that read optimized.bb buffer 495 radio. Okay, so this is in the interrupt context. Radio closure, PRX radio, panic format. Okay, but this is still at the same line, so it's just panicking the same way it was before. So what I'm gonna do is in the panic handler, I'm gonna set a breakpoint in PRX main. Do we depend directly on Cortex M? We do. Cortex M, excellent. So let's go into PRX and use Cortex M ASM BKPT. So we're not hitting, interestingly enough, Tallis, we're not hitting any of the debug asserts because this was compiled with debug asserts turned on. So we're not hitting that. But let's go ahead and, well, we don't want to do it in the panic handler. Can I go back up the stack and get, I'm in begin unwind. So I'm in loop panic. So what if I do p info, p star info, panic info, core 27 vtable message. Dot sum X20B. What do I want? I want 3FF. What are you? What are you? NSC. ARM, none, YABI, NM, NSC. Target, thumb, none, YABI, HF, release, PRX. 7 ECC. 7 ECC. 7 ECC is like off the edge because you're sorted. Well, the info wouldn't necessarily help me because it's just going to tell me that it's internal error. 7 ECC. It's interesting that it's pointing to a chunk of 2007 ECC. Oh, okay, right. It's in RAM. It's freaking out in something in RAM. Arguments. So that's going to be an argument structure. So let's go look at the arguments. Format arguments. Arguments is a reference to an argument. Okay. So P star that non-pointer value. How do you cast? Core format arguments star. GDB cast pointer. Might be a debug assert. No, if you look at the call stack, it's panicking at PRX radio 161, which is that like it's receiving a 161. It's got an error, so it's getting the error back. It happens when the PRX doesn't. Hello from PTX. Talus is thinking that he might know what's up. I'll let him keep talking. I'm still trying to figure out like GDB cast pointer to struct. PX arguments OX 2007 ECC. Nope. You just don't like that. It happens when PRX doesn't peripherals RS. So source peripherals line 388. Okay, well, let's actually, I know what I meant to do, and this would actually help. Before we panic, I want to BKPT. So now I'll actually get a breakpoint, and I can just inspect the error, which will be nice. Just mess around with some boards, trying to get a random crash to happen. Oh, there we go. There we go. Breakpoint. Okay. Backtrace. We are in fact at 163, which is good. PE. No symbol E in the current context. You lie. Step instruction. Okay. Okay, now we can PE. Yeah, it's getting an ESB internal error. Where are all the places where we throw an internal error? ESB. From the radio. PRX get hello from PTX and sends hello back, but we have a shortcut for NTXN, so we have to look at the packet and change the packet pointer to outgoing message before the TX ramp up. So it could be... Am I in the PTX method? So where are my PRX methods? Because the PRX is the one that's crashing. Okay, so it could be here. So it could be check packet, or complete RX ACK. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to go back in here, and in lib.rs we have error, internal error. I'm going to make you contain a U16. And then we're going to complain a lot. And I'm just going to put like 381. 451. 477. 306. And we're going to find exactly which one of you is causing this. Match arms 55. App.rs 55. Internal error. Just need to give a unique number to each of them. So now you're going, and now you're going. So now we gotta wait for our random crash again. But this time we should know exactly where things are going wrong. Now I'm wondering, by listening to the serial port, if I'm going to prevent it from... Oh, nope, there we go. Nope, 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 stop. Stop. Oh, get out of here. Oh, what are you doing? Why are you optimizing that variable out? I need it. I need that variable. Why are you optimizing that out? You're the worst optimizer. How can I see locals? Regs, info, reg. Do one of you happen to have a convenient R0, R1? How can I make it not optimize that out? You shouldn't optimize that out. Okay, if I do next. Yeah, you're panicked now. P info. You're gonna be a panic info in how do I Star Mutt U32. Why did you go back to being macros? Oh, not PTX. You are in breakpoint. Okay, layout, split, step instruction, finish. PN. Give me N. You can't write it out. PX, one word, OX, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 381. Okay. So it's 381. Talis, I don't know if you're still watching, but let's go look at the peripheral. I have defeated you, Optimizer, and it is line 381 that is causing this. So yes, the RX grant is not there. So we don't have, when we're checking a packet, we don't have an RX grant. I have no idea what this means, though. So, Talis, if you're still around, I hope this means a lot more to you than it means to me. But I have figured out that it is, in fact, 381 that causes it. So it's this line. It's RX grant equal. It's trying to get the RX grant. Should this be... Should this have picked the... So the RX grant, instead of panicking here, if we don't have any user data, should it be using the fallback ACK packet instead? Like, is this a... Oh... I'm not entirely sure how this works exactly, but I wonder here if there's no RX grant, then that means that RX grant.pid RX noac. Oh, but I guess this means that we are calling check packet, but we haven't put the packet that we've received in the grant, or we've released the grant or something like that. Where does check packet get called? RX buff must only be none if a previous call of check packet would be... So we have debug asserts turned on. So disabled event is there. So where do we move into the receiver mode? Yeah, without it, we couldn't have received anything. Is it possible we get into the check packet state by like a timeout or something like that? Like, are we hitting the interrupt and we haven't actually received the packet, but because we're in receiver mode, Is this the big old dispatch? Okay, yeah. Um, if we didn't trigger it, then the user did. If user event and or I'm wondering if this timer flag isn't being set before the debug assert disabled event. So the disabled event is definitely true. So it's definitely not a user event because we've asserted that disable event is true. Because otherwise we would have panicked here. Is it possible? Well, if we don't have a, because we should set up a grant before we go to idle. So where do we get the RX grant, and when would it fail? Like if the queue was full, I suppose it would fail, but then I would assume that you would panic before we go into receive mode. So RX grant. No, that's only going to be in peripheral. So where do you RX grant? Complete RX noac. If let sum drop grants we might have. So that only happens on stop. Where do you get a new RX grant? Some grant. Payload W. Okay, where do you actually call what's it going to be called? It's going to be called, it's just going to be called grant. App IRQ. So it's these two. So let packet equals grant. Dot grant we would have in transmitter TX, but that's not. Prepare receiver. So prepare receiver is gonna do something. Dot grant if let OK equals dot grant dot map new from radio. F grant question mark. Okay. Else self dot radio stop idle RX, but then our state would be idle RX. Prepare receiver. Yeah, so who calls prepare receiver? And complete RX no ACK. Some grant. Start receiving enabled pipe. So everyone passes their grant on. Some grant, some grant. Why does this not take some grant? Where is start receiving? Wait, is this recursive? Oh, I guess it's probably calling a different function called start receiving. Yeah. Grant. Which we always have to have. I wonder if you are actually getting hit before you store this RX grant. So I wonder if, like, if I were to move this, before we enable, so like move this in here, because like I wonder if we're actually racing here where you just haven't set the grant there. So like we got a DMA and it came in, but oh no, it has crashed immediately. Let's see if it's in the same place. Okay, let's stop you. Are you still optimizing my stuff out? Yeah, you are. 381. I think it's the same spot. But I wonder if there's other places where the receiver's not being set before an interrupt comes back in. But I would assume... Well, let's not assume. Did it actually... Actually, this is probably an important question. When I... Yeah, okay, it did rebuild ESB. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I was actually making effective changes here. I'm not entirely sure about... Never hurts to have seek CST, except for performance. It hurts performance, but correctness comes before performance. Oh, hit. The nice thing is we're hitting breakpoints super quick now. It's still 381. Okay, so that does not appear to be the issue. Let's... Okay. Let's go find ESB. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Let's go look in IRQ. RX RX grant. Okay. RX grant. Else. Let's DMA is the worst. I wonder if there's also somewhere where you're calling like rxgrant.take or something, and it's as ref. Okay, and this is where it's actually crashing. I'm thinking this maybe shouldn't be Kung at all, but well, Talos thinks he has the problem. Line 437, when the method returns RX payload state repeated no ACK. 437 repeated no ACK. I mean, it's wrong, but it might not be it. I'm not following. Yeah, because if we return here, we're not going to have... Oh. No, that only has stuff to do with the RX grant. And we've only taken a reference to it. We drop RX grant in stop, but we shouldn't drop it if it's repeated because then we will pass none to complete RX. So what's the fix for this then, Talus? Where should we not be dropping the um because we haven't taken it here. We only have a reference to it, so we haven't dropped it yet. And we haven't. Yeah, we haven't taken it until later. Copy stop without dropping. But if we return up here, then we haven't dropped the packet, and RX grant is still alive. Because we only drop here, like on the commit all, is when we. Well, here's where we take. Is this? Oh, interesting. But if we've disabled the radio, then we shouldn't have any more events. So it's not like we should be hitting this, right? I don't really understand repeated and how it works. Yeah, I have some thoughts about how we might be able to make the flow. Well, I don't know. Okay, well, it's getting to be about 1 o'clock here. Else stop. So I might wrap it up for the night and pick this back up with some more debugging tomorrow. We disable the radio so it won't go to TX if we don't need to send ACK. Disable the radio so it won't go to TX if we don't need to send ACK. But then I added that drops later because other parts of the code needed it and forgot. So are you saying that this drop... we should be dropping this here, or we shouldn't be dropping this here? Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to diff. Where am I here? Debug assertions true. Banana the drops. Attempting to debug some panics. The other thing we might want to do, Talus, while I'm talking to you, we may end up wanting to set tracing up a little bit more. Because I think tracing is relatively low overhead. So what I'll probably end up doing tomorrow, if you don't get to it first, is on each of these state transitions, or like anytime it walks through the state machines or enters one of these, we should have a like an enum that we can just shove into RTT. Not do any formatting, but just like shove some integers in there. I need to look at what the semantics of RTT is and see if we could just shove something like simple, like an integer in there or something like that. And just implement tracing basically, so we can watch how it steps through these. I think ProBaras has something like that. If not, I know Jorge's been working on some stuff for tracing that's lightweight over RTT. So I might dig into that and see if I can get that working. I know he's working on the NRF52 for that, so it should be pretty straightforward. If nothing else, I can put in like a ring buffer or something like that, so that like in the panic I'll be able to see it. But yeah, it'd be good to be able to have tracing or something like this. I know we're racing against the clock for a lot of this, but there should be some low overhead stuff that we can do to figure out like what steps this has gone through to get here. But yeah, I'll look through some of this, and I'll also see if there's anything else with how BBQ is being used that I can help out with. And also familiarize myself with all of the radio code, because I'm kind of dove in here without following anything. But yeah, it'd be good if you don't get to it first. I'm gonna pick it up tomorrow. It'd be good to have like actual tracing for like every time we come through the interrupt dispatch stuff. So like every time we walk through here, at least tracing like where we are, if we can, like whether we have grants or not, or something like that. Only integers without format, that should be due. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, is come up with like a line number and a boolean or something like that, and just shove some stuff in there and print it to a console or something like that. I'll have to look at how ProBaras does that, but yeah, the fact that it was working super well, and it took me basically throwing a hammer at it before it crashed. This is super awesome. So I'm very excited about this, and the fact that we have something that works is awesome, because we can start trickling down from here. So I'm excited, and yeah, let's like I said, I'll probably pick this up tomorrow. I think tomorrow's going to be a quiet day for me, so I'll probably be back on here streaming for a couple hours tomorrow. And I'll try and dig a bit deeper now that I've had my hands in the code a little bit. So thank you to everyone who has watched. Thank you so much to Talis, who's been killing it this week building the ESB stuff. I'm super excited to play with it, and I think like just seeing what the external interface looks like right now, I'm super pumped about it, because like this is exactly what I wanted, of like being able to just like, okay, I just give me packets or send packets. Like, I'm super excited about what we're going to build on top of this. So thank you so much again to Talis. I have a working development environment, which was like half the battle. And being able to come back to this clean tomorrow with 2 working boards and being able to sit here and just hammer on it and hopefully build up some tracing stuff. So yeah, if any of the ProBaras folks are like, this is what you want to do to implement tracing, here's a way to get line numbers super easy, and maybe like quick integers or something, or booleans or something like that, feel free to ping me on like Matrix, or like at me in the ProBaras room. I'm happy to be a test pilot for this. Oh, they're talking about stuff. Yeah, I guess I'm not using RTT, but I could switch over to RTT for one of the boards. Like I'll set it up so that the PRX is using RTT, and that should hopefully be somewhat graceful. Okay, but thank you all very much for watching. I'll probably be back tomorrow. Feel free to at me anywhere if you have thoughts of how I can do this better. And yeah, thanks again, everyone. Have a good weekend. All right, bye.
I'm just a bunch of atoms. I've got my pros and cons. I keep keep to myself mostly. Just me and my electrons. I'm just a lonely gas, doing my lonely thing. I fill the room but don't ever go outside my orbital ring. Here I stand inertly, valiantly, balance free of any charge. I'll pass. Periodically I feel a reactivity, and believe me, it's not all hot gas. No time to dwell, I'm breaking out of my shell. We're flammable and unstable. Forget about the whole table. Don't care if we are, could burn bright like a star. I'd love to make a bond with you, 'cause that's what atoms do. Probability won't help in the day-to-day. Unnerve me to see a bell curve or three while I'm just drawing away. But maybe it can help you see that this is not a fallacy. It's not noise nor an error. Oh, you belong with me. You mean much more to me than a mean or median. This is not random, it's true. If you plot a curve through the points of my heart, they lead me right to you. 95% interval that you should be with me. This is not random, it's true. If you plot a curve through the points of my heart, they lead me right to you. Oh, you are a significant value. Are a significant value. Are a significant value. Are a significant value.